Well guys, welcome back to another video. Back out on the streets of downtown today. Now I'm just out for the day today, so I wanted to see what I could capture because I have got plans to go back over to Vancouver Island either tomorrow or the day after. Now today we've got these clear skies today which create some nice shadows and some nice light, and especially with it being the winter time, the sun's a lot lower in the sky, so it creates some nice pockets of light in downtown itself. Now I want to give a shout out to Photo Tryhard, I think it is, I'll put the name on the screen above, for his kind donation that he gave us on my last video. Any donations to my channel really are greatly appreciated, and I want to thank him for that. And I also want to welcome my new subscribers. It's great to see a lot of people viewed my last video, and that gives me lots of encouragement and enthusiasm when I'm doing street, because usually my street videos don't do as well as my landscape. So to see that people are watching, that's all I need to get me back out on the streets, because I love both genres of photography. So today I was unsure about what focal length to bring today. Sometimes it's like that. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to bring the 85mm and the 24mm. Now when I'm using the 24mm, I'll be looking to get close to foregrounds, but also with the inclusion of the buildings in the background, and preferably having more in focus than I would with the 85. So I've got two different styles, different focal lengths that I can use today. Now you'll notice that I use primes quite a lot. I love the prime lenses. They're getting a lot smaller now and a lot lighter, so they're ideal for walking about on the streets. Now when you're using a zoom lens, I find that you're a bit more static, you don't move about as much. So using those prime lenses really gets you to move about and find shots that you wouldn't normally find. Now behind us there's a seating area, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sit on that seating area, get low down and just get a subject walking into the building, because what I've noticed is everyone's going to work and some of them are really smartly dressed, and I've always said about looking for interesting subjects. When you're taking your shots, don't just take a shot of anyone. Try and find someone that's interesting, smartly dressed, hats, umbrellas, anything like that, and it always adds to the image. Now for the shot I'm going to use the 85mm. I want to get in nice and close. It's going to compress the scene, it's going to bring the subject in the building closer, and I want to just capture the pillars and the windows in the scene. Now I'm going to underexpose this shot because I want the windows to be nice and dark and the shadows at the same time, and the light that the subject's walking through will be nice and bright, so I'm going to expose for the highlights. So I've been coming up the street here, the light is starting to break onto the street, and I've noticed on the opposite side of the road we've got some really nice lights, some nice direction there, and I think it'll make for the shot. I'm going to shoot this with the 85mm because I'm going to take it from the opposite side of the street and actually just get someone walking into that shot, and I think it'll make for a nice image. There's some lovely colour there, so all I've got to do is wait and watch subjects walk through the shot and see how they're illuminated with that light. Now they might be in shade, they might be in the light, I'll just have to wait and see as people pass through. So that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to manual focus for this shot. I'm going to manual focus onto the sidewalk and hopefully we'll get a shot. But nice start to the day, that light's starting to break, and I'm going to see if I can get a shot here before I move on. So you'll be able to see what I'm looking for today. And I've been using manual focus again. Now the reason I've been using manual focus, it means I can pinpoint the area where I want my focus to be and subjects walking through that shot. It means I can slow down. Because I'm framing up compositions, there's no rush, there's no urgency, so I'm able to manual focus. Now when I use automatic focus, I want to be fast. I want to just capture the subject, say portraiture style where people are walking into the shot, but I want to just capture the subject themselves. I'm not too interested in the background. We've got a cafe behind us there, and there's a smartly dressed guy sitting at the window on his laptop. He's got glasses on. There's some lovely light reflecting up onto his face, and there's some nice lighting in the background along with those dark shadows. So I think it'll make for a great black and white, and it's going to be a perfect example of using the 85mm. I love to get those shots of people sitting at the windows going about the daily business, and I think they make for great images. So that's what I'm going to go for. So I'm going to go over there, capture this image, and then we'll just carry on our walk. But what a brilliant day I'm having, getting to vary the shots of what I go for. Now what I'll do soon is I'll probably swap out for the 24mm, and then I'll change so I can include a lot more. Now it is a bit of a race in the winter time with that sunshine and the way it's moving about. It just, every minute the light changes. So what I'm doing is I'm basically following where the light's going. So I'm working my way from one side to the other side as that light moves as well. But what a great day out, brilliant, really enjoying it. I'm going to swap out for the 24mm now. So what I'm going to be looking for is interesting backgrounds where I can include a lot more in the scene, also with subjects in the shot. So it's been nice to vary the focal length. Started off with the 85mm and now I'm moving to the 24, so I'm going to be looking for those bigger scenes. So taking a couple of focal lengths out with you works really well. If you're tired or get bored of one focal length, simply switch for the other, and it means it keeps your day occupied, it keeps you interested, and keeps your enthusiasm up. So I've came a bit further along. I actually stopped back there to take a photograph of this fire hydrant. Now you'll probably notice in that image the guy was wearing a red jacket, like a puffer jacket, and there was a relationship there between the guy and the fire hydrant because of that colour. And it's things like that that I look for, things that are different, connections, you know, joining the dots. So I've came a bit further along and I found this area here. Now when I got here, the light was superb, it really was. It was some lovely light and shadows in here. But we have got some overcast skies now. I said to you earlier on, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So it's a bit more overcast, so I've lost that light. Now luckily I decided to go for the image before we did lose that light, and I took a bit of video, so I'm going to be able to show you my thought process and show you how the light was when we had it. So what I want to do for the shot, because I've got that 24mm on now, I'm able to get close to the foreground and include all the surrounding area, the background and the shadows, and capture a bigger scene. And obviously I wanted a subject within that scene, and I wanted to use this railing as a leading line. Well, you'll be able to see subjects walking through the shot. It just made for a really nice image. There was a lot of interest there, and that's what I was looking for. And that's a good thing about using that wider focal length. The 24mm was able to capture a lot of what you see in there. Now you'll be able to see behind us some lovely shadows on the floor. I've got a nice direction there to subjects walking through this shot. So what I wanted to do is get low down to those shadows and wait till the light was at its brightest, so there was nice contrast between the shadows and the highlighted areas, and simply wait for the subject to walk into the shot. And I think I got a couple of images. You'll be able to see how the light's coming and going, but I think you got it when it was at its best. It's later in the afternoon and that sun's dropped, but it's dropped behind a lot of the high buildings. So I'm struggling to find those pockets of light, so I'm not sure how many more images I'm going to get. But I've came across this area here. It looks amazing because you've got trees on the sidewalk, but the trees are actually casting the shadow on the building behind us. You'll be able to see, you can just make out the trees. There's some lovely boxes there, there's a lot of interest. You'll be able to see the square plant pots on the floor. And then you've got the doorway, but the doorway is lit up. Now what I need a subject. Now I've been here for about 10 minutes and I've had no subject come along, just to step into that light where the entrance way is. But it looks great on the back of camera. You've got all those darks in the foreground, and then in the front of this building with all that interest really lit up. So that's all I need. It could be the last image of the day, I'm not so sure. Like I said, I've walked from one side to the other, and the later it's getting, the less light we've got to use. So what I'm going to do is hang fire here till I get a shot, see if I can get a subject, and then I'll carry on and see if we can get one more image. But like I said, I'm not so sure. But it's been a brilliant day out and I hope you've enjoyed it. So I'm going to get back and get this shot. Hopefully someone comes, and we'll see how it looks. So I tried a couple of shots and I got a lady walking into the building. Now unfortunately she was wearing black. It'd be nice if she had lighter clothing on or a white jacket, so she's going to stand out a lot more. But the fact that we had that light with the silhouette of the tree branches on the building, it just stood out to us and it looked great. It's more or less coming towards the end of the afternoon now, but as the sun's setting, you'll be able to see over my left shoulder we've still got some light coming down the centre of this street. If you look on the opposite side, there's some brickwork and it resembles squares all the way up, so they're all lit up on the edge, and you've got the light spill coming down the street. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to go over with the 24mm and I'm going to get nice and low. Remember, it's a wider focal length, so I can get pretty close to subjects and still capture everything, all that detail, the texture in the bricks and the light. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to place myself at the end of the street there looking up, I've noticed that people walking up the street look better than they do when they're coming down. The reason for that is because people are walking up towards that light, they're actually partially lit up on the front of the body, so part of the body stands out, whereas when they're coming towards, they're more in shade, they're not really lit up. So a subject walking away is looking a lot better, and plus it adds a bit more mystery, a bit more interest, because you don't know who the character is. So that's my plan. My plan's to get over the street before we lose that light. It is probably going to be my last image, but it's been a great day. I'd like to have got more images this afternoon, but just chasing that light, that's what it's been all about. We've got some lovely light over there at the minute, so I'm sure there's a shot, and I'll see what I can make. So what a great day it's been. It's been a brilliant day. I've really enjoyed it. I would like to have got more images towards the end of the day, but we have lost that light now. It's at the other side of Vancouver and I don't have time to walk there. But I was happy with the images I got today. It was a good example of the 2 focal lengths that I took, and that's what I hope you can take away from today's video. Take a couple of focal lengths, switch it up. I started off with the 85 this morning, I finished off with the 24. It gave us options, and the fact that there were prime lenses, I was able to move about and find shots. I was also working with light and shadows, relationships between the colour of people's clothing and the background, so there's plenty to take away from the video. But it has came to the end of today's video, so hope you've enjoyed it. Welcome to my new subscribers. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, it's much appreciated, it helps with the algorithm, and don't forget to leave a comment below. Now I don't know where I'm going to be in my next video. I could be on Vancouver Island, I could actually be back home in the UK, so I'm really excited for that. So until next time, thanks for watching, bye bye.